What? 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 What?
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Ayers, the content scientist here at the Social Media Lab, powered by Agora Pulse, and this is an impromptu change in this week's episode of the Social Media Lab. So I appreciate all those who've already hopped on and are starting to watch. I'm playing around with the timer, so I needed the 5 minute timer this morning. Let me tell you that. So if you're watching right now, let me know in the comments where you are watching from. So just to kind of get a couple of things out of the way. Originally, I had scheduled a show to talk about how to get clients pitch free. So, with webinars and on social media, with a friend of mine named Casey Zeman. And I haven't heard from Casey here in the last few days. He may or may not have get on his calendar. I don't know. I love Casey, so we'll just chalk it up to we'll blame it on Calendly or Calendly, however you might say it, because I haven't heard from him. But we'll reschedule with Casey at another time next year, because I'm actually already booked through the end of February with brand new guests that I've never had on the show. So it's going to be an interesting time for us. So instead, we're going to pivot a little bit, and I think this is a great way to pivot into this, because this experiment I'm going to talk about today was all about pivoting and all about change. And so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about an experiment that I ran recently, comparing Facebook Premiere versus Facebook Live video. So we're going to get into that and talk about that here in a little bit. Before we hop over to that, I do want to mention a few things. If you haven't run over to agorapulselab.com, make sure you do that. You can check out all of our experiments. You can read everything that we're publishing. We tend to publish 2 to 3 times per month, hoping to get that a little bit higher into 2021 as I get on a better schedule. But you can check out everything we've written about in the past. And I'm actually finally, and hopefully it gets launched in a couple of days, finally have a search function on the lab where you can actually search for keywords and maybe find some of our experiments a little bit easier. I got notice of that this morning. So make sure that you do that. And of course, we are, a part of Agora Pulse. Hopefully you knew that. But if you haven't checked out Agora Pulse, make sure you run over to agorapulse.com. I'm typing it in. This is I should have had this if you're really planned out person, you'd probably have this on a spreadsheet, but I didn't do that. And this is just part of live. So if you make sure you run over to agorapulse.com/live, you can grab your free trial of Agora Pulse and kind of kick the tires and see how it is. And we are using Restream right now to run our Facebook Live. And here's the kind of the cool thing. I'm using Restream's what they call their live studio. And so I could, on the fly, literally 5 minutes before I was supposed to go live, I went in real quick and changed all the titles, all the descriptions, and the featured image for YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I even have it on Twitch right now. We go live on Twitch just for the heck of it to try that out, as well as LinkedIn. So I went inside Live Studio on the events that they had scheduled here and changed everything out literally about 4 minutes before I went live, so I could have the right title, and I didn't have to cancel the live, didn't have to start a new one just in case anybody had already tapped get reminder. They still got the reminder, just a different video now that's coming over to them. So if you haven't checked out Restream, you really need to go check it out. I really like some of the features that they have in it and all the things that they're doing. If you run over to restreamlive.com, you'll get $10 off when you sign up with them. And as always, you can join our Facebook group. We have a private Facebook group talking all about geeky stuff. You can either comment lab and I'll send you a message to it, or go to socialmedialab.group and that will get you over that. And I'll put that in the comments if I can type right. Socialmedialab.group. Some reason I always spell group wrong. I don't know why that I do that. I kept spelling it with the P and the U. Switched a little bit earlier. So that's kind of our housekeeping a little bit out of the way. And I do want to know, as we're getting started here, our question of the day today is, have you done a Facebook premiere? I want to know, yes or no, I've done a premiere. No, I haven't done a premiere. What the heck is a premiere? I kind of want to know that in the comments, and I'll try to see what you guys are saying as we watch along here. But I want to pop in and see who is saying hi. Deb's saying hi, guys. Justin Hornback, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday already. Even though yesterday my wife and kids were all like, "Isn't today Wednesday?" I'm like, "No, it's not, unfortunately." And Justin is in Kentucky. Good deal, good deal. And Ed from Orlando, Mike Alton, our brand evangelist is what I call him, but he does a lot more than just that. But he actually just came back from Disney, so he just been down to your area here recently. And Brad Freeman is saying hello from Denver. If you're just hopping on again, we're going to talk. We've pivoted today's show a little bit. I was supposed to be interviewing Casey Zeman, talking about how to get clients without pitching them using social media and webinars, but we're pivoting because that's what live video is all about. And we're going to talk about Facebook Premiere versus Facebook Live video. And I'm curious to know if you've done a Premiere or not. Let me know in the comments if you've done a Premiere or not. And it looks like Justin said he has done a Facebook Premiere. I'd love to see what you've done or what you thought of it and why you did it. Ed Weinberg, what the heck is the Premiere? Yeah, that's there. There's actually a whole company. I forget their name right now. It'll come to me later, but there's a whole company right now that just is based around doing Facebook Premieres, which is interesting. It's actually a function inside Restream. You can actually use Restream to premiere videos that you upload. The cool thing about Restream doing it, or probably even this other site, is you can do it to multiple sites at one time. So that's kind of the advantage there. And Brad Freeman says, yes, I've done a Premiere as well. So let's kind of pivot over and talk a little bit about Facebook Premieres. And hopefully, if you don't know what they are, I will walk you through kind of a little bit of what in the world Facebook Premieres are. And I love this little, I'm going to forget which hand it is. I think it's this one. Our guy that makes our images, I asked him to make a featured image for this blog post. I'm like, hey, make it look like the red carpet at like a big movie premiere in Hollywood or something. He came up with this really cool graphic here. It's the first time ever that our little scientist, maybe I'll move that so it makes more sense there. Our little scientist is not in the lab coat. He's in a tuxedo here, kind of like James Bond looking. So we had a lot of fun with this image here. But if you don't know what a Facebook Premiere is, basically it's the option for you to create a video pre-recorded, edit it, do all the stuff you want to do to it, add graphics, add sound effects, transitions, edit out all the times you goofed up and, said or coughed or, your kids walk in or whatever it is. Upload it, get it all ready to go. You can upload it instead of just uploading it to Facebook and kind of just boom, there it is. And everybody just watches it, whenever at their leisure. What a Premiere does is it lets you schedule it, to be live, quote unquote, and everybody that watches it is watching it at the same exact time, that very first time. So no one can skip ahead. No one can be ahead, 2 minutes in and one person's 1 minute in. So whenever you hit Premiere and you boom, it goes live, that video starts playing and the comments are live. So people, if you're commenting in there, it's as if it's a live video, except the person or whatever the video is not interacting directly to the comments, although you can interact with the comments. And if you're using software such as Restream, I believe you can actually even pull in the comments like you would during a live show. So that's kind of what a Facebook Premiere is. And why would you use that? Well, there's a lot of reasons. One could just be you want to launch a campaign or something about an event, like a big promo for an event. And instead of doing a live because you're not interacting, you just want to push out some promo video, or maybe it's a really good interview you did off site and recorded it, edited it, and then now you want to premiere it together. Or maybe in my case, and here's where my case came in. Back in April of this year, 2020, obviously COVID had kind of gone, it was getting high. Of course, I think we're at a higher peak in Texas now than we were in April, but we're not locked down at this point. But everybody went on lockdown basically in the U.S. And in my area where I live, I live in a very small town in Texas, and we weren't allowed to technically leave our city and leave our county, or you could face fines. And if you don't know, the office that I'm in is about 35 miles away from my house, because at my home, I do not have broadband. I use DSL, which sucks. I pay a lot for it, and I can't do lives. I can't do a live stream at all. It's just not good enough. to do it. It's very, very low bandwidth. And so I can't do live from home. And so Agora Pulse pays for me an office over in Waco, Texas, and that I come to and I do lives and I do everything I got to upload, podcasts and interviews, all that stuff I do here. And so I didn't want to have to, knowingly break what the mandate was and drive across the city limits, even though I knew in the back of my mind that they would never pull me over because it's highway. There's hundreds of cars going in and out, trucks, all that kind of stuff. They're not going to put up roadblocks at every entry and exit point of the city. But being a person of a man of my word and having 3 kids looking at me going, Dad, are you going to break the law? No, I'm not going to, kids. And so I stayed home. And so here's what happened for me. I still wanted to do my live videos. And this was just right at the same time that we transitioned and Owen was no longer the co-host with me of the live show. I didn't want to miss out. I didn't want to stop doing Wednesdays because our audience had gotten really, really used to us going live every Wednesday for like 15 months at that point. And so I said, okay, what can I do? And so I grabbed my backdrop that I had, my lights, camera, all that kind of stuff, set it up in literally a shed that I have at my house and started recording videos and editing them, making them what I want and talking about my experiments in the lab. And then I went, okay, now what do I do? Did I just upload them on Wednesday? So I was like, no, let's do a Facebook premiere with them. And so for me, it was completely out of necessity. So for 4 weeks, I could not go to my office and I had to do something different. And so this is what, and I didn't make it a test because everything I do in the lab ends up being a test after all. And so we kind of turned this into a test of what does it look like Facebook premieres versus a Facebook Live. And so that's kind of where it all came into play. Because sometimes it's just, you have nothing else you can do. And that was my situation. I had nothing else to do. Now, you may not be stuck in that sort of situation. Like I said before, you may just you want to do some sort of cool promo video and have everybody watch it together to get excited about an event, or something that's going on. So when I went into this, I said, okay, I always do hypotheses, right? And so my initial hypothesis was that Facebook premiere videos get less reach and engagement than a typical Facebook Live video. Because just what I know from Facebook Live, getting the comments, I've even got this question today up here, and I want to know if you're watching, have you ever done a Facebook premiere on your page before? Let me know in the comments view. You already said that you have. So that's what I kind of thought going into it. There's no way that I would get the same kind of engagement or even reach because engagement helps reach. And you should know that. You're trying to get more engagement, more people see it because it shows up on the newsfeed. So that was my initial hypothesis when I started on this thing. So here, in the case you've never done a premiere, like I think Ed said, what the heck is a premiere? And so if you've never done a premiere, what happens when you go in, you upload a video, and hopefully you can see this little thing up here. So I can point at it. There we go. And I guess that would be like there. There, I got it right. When you go to upload a video, you'll have the option to publish now, to schedule it, and you have this little option to premiere it. And it lets you pick a date and a time, exact date and time, pretty much, of when you want this thing to go live and be a live showing of it on Facebook. So this is kind of what it looks like. And once you're done and you get it scheduled, this is kind of what it looks like. It looks a lot like a live video. Like a live video that's scheduled anyway, I should say. Because you can see there it says plans to premiere a video, test. This is I just put this up as a test. Testing Facebook premiere. Tune in to watch live. You're going to watch the video live on a premiere. Everybody who comes and see it is watching it live the first time anyway. After it finishes, of course, it's a replay. Just like this video later will be a replay. And then you can do the get reminder. People can still tap get reminder to come in, get that notification of when this video goes live and premiere. So hopefully that all makes sense to you. And I see a question over here. I'm going to hop over to it. Let's see. First, Justin, we're doing for work. Premiered a performance and had fun conversation with the audience. That's really cool. And how long should a premiere video be? Man, I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer here. I guess you could that could be another test. I think all of mine were in that. I had to go back and look. I should have looked at that. I didn't. I want to say they're about 20 minutes long ish. long. It's kind of what I did on mine because it's hard to talk to the camera by yourself without engagement, unless you just got a lot to read over and have a lot of notes. So I think it just depends on what it is. Like you may have just a 5-minute one to launch a product, or a new feature and get people excited, make a big event out of it. But you might have, maybe you got an hour-long documentary that you're launching, and you want to do it through Premiere because it's recorded, it's all produced, it looks great. You don't have to worry about the technology, you don't have to worry about your internet speed. So you do it as a Facebook Premiere, but you're in the comments, commenting away, keeping up with it, interacting with it. And I think, like I said earlier, I think if you use something like Restream, you can pull in the comments on screen just like I did here with Justin. So I don't think there's any right or wrong answer to that, Justin. I think it just depends on what it is that you do. But there is a lot of options for Premiere. Premiere is kind of a cool thing because, like I said, it does let you does let you kind of go live without actually doing this sort of live thing here that I'm obviously doing right now. So what I ended up doing when it was all done, I had 4 Facebook premieres, and then I looked at 4 live videos after their premieres that I did. And I want to look at a couple of different things. I mean, for me, when I'm really looking at this to kind of determine which one is the winner, my main ones that I'm going to look at is, reach and comments. Those are the main ones for my success, because for me, live video is all about that engagement. So like, when you're posting comments, I mean, that's a gold for a page. Anytime you can get people to add some sort of comment, even just a yes, like if you all commented yes right now, and you can go ahead and do that, it'll help the algorithm. It'll help our posts show up in your news feed later. So I looked at reach and I looked at engagement, but I also took into consideration reactions. I looked at peak live viewers, 1-minute views, views overall, which are those silly 3-second views, which I do not like the 3-second views that Facebook counts as a view, because reality is someone could just be, on their phone and, it shows for half a second. They look at it for 3 seconds and they move on. Facebook counts it as a view, and that's unfortunate and not accurate at all. But we can look at all the same data points on both of them is kind of what I want you to know. And if you're watching on, I want to mention this as well. If you're watching on a watch party, I'm frustrated with watch parties right now. Last week, I didn't do any watch parties. I just went live on like 5 different pages and groups to try it out. I'm going to compare results this week. But right now, you can't, from the live video, at least I can't create a watch party within a group from the live video. I can only do it on my personal profile from the actual live video. And so if I want to do it on a page or a group, I've got to go to the group. I've got to go to the page, do watch party, search for the title, and then I can start it, which is a big pain in the butt. But the other thing of it is, and if you've done a watch party recently, let me know if you're experiencing this. I can't watch the video along with you. So I'm doing a test right now on watch parties, and suddenly now when I'm doing these watch parties on Mondays and Thursdays, I can't even watch the stupid video with you. I just have to keep refreshing to see the comments. So I'm really frustrated with watch parties right now, just by the way. So what kind of results did we end up getting? So let me just kind of give you a raw number first, because raw numbers, maybe the big number might look better. I don't know. So Facebook Premiere, when we averaged them together, we ended up with a reach of 1757. So not crazy high, not crazy low, but that's what it is. What it is. Facebook Live had 1892. So reach was higher. Comments. Now comments were the big one for me. We averaged 72 comments on those live videos. We averaged 25 comments on the Facebook Premiere. So a lot less people, 3 times as many people talking on the live than on the Facebook Premieres. And then if we kind of go through some of the other numbers, like 1-minute views, we had more on the Facebook Live. We had more views overall on the Facebook Live. We had more unique viewers on the Facebook Live. The ironic thing, the very interesting thing, and this may have just been the way it worked during April and May with COVID, I don't know, but the peak live viewers was actually just a tiny bit higher on the premiere videos. I really don't know why. Maybe because I was more consistent of when I scheduled them, perhaps. So here, let's put that into like some sort of number that you can digest, because those sort of numbers don't really say a lot to me. So when we're all said and done, Facebook Live outperformed Facebook Premiere with 7.68% more reach and 188% more comments. So, what that says to me, and my conclusion from this is Facebook Live video is going to be better when you're wanting engagement. So anytime you're wanting engagement, you're going to get. I clicked something there real quick and it went away. Let me pull it back up. Anytime you want engagement, Facebook Live is going to be the better way to do it. You're going to get more interaction. You're able to pull in those comments live, like Justin, I think, just left a comment here. You know, I can pull in his comment right now and talk to him and address this. Like if it's a podcast episode with a static image, would a Premiere work better than just a scheduled video? That's not a bad idea, Justin. I don't know. I mean, if people could listen to it, but it won't count as your podcast downloads. It would count as a watch on an engagement, perhaps on your Facebook page, which could be good for you, but it's not going to help you on Apple or anything like that because it's just going to be a video on Facebook. So kind of, I don't know. You could try it. I mean, it's worth trying, I suppose, if you want that engagement or you need those views and that interaction. Perhaps on your Facebook page, that might be something to do. So interesting thing there. And that's where live's different. You see, like right now, I can answer these questions on camera, where on a Premiere, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to be able to see your questions come in the comments and answer it on camera. Now, I can answer it in the comment stream that's going on, but I can't do the opposite. And that's where Facebook Live is going to be better for pretty much everyone who's willing to get on camera. And that's a big thing too. Some people can't get on live. They have a hard time with it. I see Ian Anderson Gray always talks about, he has his live show. I think it's called Confident Live, I believe. And he has he's talking about how to be confident on your live and how to not get flustered, how not to get lost, how to look at the camera correctly, how to look over the comments and other things. Because when you're producing the live, especially by yourself, like I do here with Restream, there's a lot to kind of keep up with. So some people just don't have that in them, and that's okay. But they can sit in front of a camera, record themselves, go in and edit it, make it all buttoned up where there's no gaps, there's no odd things, and boom, make the video. So you'll have to determine what's best for you. For us, I want the engagement. My whole goal is twofold, I suppose, with a live video. One's engagement. I want to get those comments because I know it triggers the algorithm. Like I know everybody who comments during this Facebook Live. Now on YouTube, it's going to be a little different if we're live on YouTube. Periscope, where we're live right now, will be a little bit different as well. LinkedIn, probably the same. But I know on Facebook's algorithm, like right now, like Justin, Ed, Brad, Deb, you guys have commented during the live. The next post that comes out from Agorapulse, if you're following or like our page, you're way more likely to see it because Facebook says, okay, Justin, Brad, Deb, you guys all, and Ed, you guys all, gave your social equity over to Agorapulse during this live and left a comment. So we're going to make sure you see the next post. And that's what I'm looking for when I'm doing the live. That's the number one thing. The second thing I look for and I want to do with the Facebook Live is I want you to go over the links. I want to push out, like, if I post, the link to, and I'll do that right now. I post the link to this blog post, this experiment. I'm hoping that people who either watch the live or watch it on a replay, go over and click that link, and I drive traffic to my website or to an affiliate product like Restream or other things. And so that's kind of my two goals. Is I want comments because that engagement helps me later on in the algorithm. We used to talk about when I worked at Post Planner. Josh and I used to use an analogy called chumming the waters. How many of you have fished? I guess I got to raise that hand. How many of you fished? And when you're chumming the waters, you throw out a lot of bait. Remember, we used to throw out dog food when I was a kid. We throw cheap dog food or cat food out into the water. You get those fish to come up. They start eating at it, and then boom, you throw in your bait on a hook because the fish are already there biting stuff, and then boom, you hook them in. That's kind of what I look at when I look at Facebook Live when it comes to this engagement. I'm chumming the waters. I want you to engage. I want you to, to come up and take some nibbles at the food I'm throwing. And then boom, my hook is either a link in the comments or my next post. So that's the importance, I think, of getting engagement on a Facebook Live video. And based on the results we have, we got a lot. We got 3 times as many comments on our live videos on average than we did our premieres. People tend to be a little bit more passive on videos that are uploaded. Like someone uploads a video, you watch it, but you're kind of, yeah, you're doing other things. You're watching the video, and they're probably not asking you questions. Like I even tried, like in some of these premieres, I asked questions like, "Hey, do this, do that," and I couldn't get any. I did hardly got any engagement from it when it came over, and so that's something you want to try to look at and try to do. If you do a premiere and you want to try to get comments, go for it. But people tend to be more passive when they know it's not a live video. They're watching on their phone. They're doing other things. Maybe they've got it pulled up on their desktop, and that's kind of where they are. So my recommendation to you is to focus on Facebook Live videos. Use premieres for special events, maybe, or like I said, documentaries, or maybe you got some cool promo, or in my instance where I just could not go live. I had no option to go live unless it's on my phone, but then my phone wouldn't work for scheduling. I wouldn't get my backdrop, which at the time I was using a backdrop. Now I'm using an actual, set. So I couldn't do those things. So for me, it was a necessity, but I would kind of stay away from them except for those sort of instances. And Brad says, these premieres are not my favorite thing. Yeah, they're really, I mean, they're okay. I mean, they can come in handy. In a pit, when you're in a bind and you kind of want to, I got to do something really quick, they come in great. But for most, I don't think they're a great thing. They're not a replacement long term for Facebook Live. It may be something you do along with Facebook Live or temporarily, like I did in the moment, just because I had to because of COVID restrictions and travel. So that was kind of what I found from that. So that's really what I want to talk to today. I was going to see if any of you guys wanted to hop on and let me interview. I don't know if you've looked last 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now. Time flies when you're having fun. I did in our Facebook group, if you go to socialmedialab.group, I've actually got I did a video, an unboxing video of a bunch of stuff that I got from Poddex. Poddex has these cool little cards, and he sent me all the decks this last week or so. He's got these cool little decks, and they're really fun. They're literally just cards that let you ask questions of people in either like a Facebook Live or a podcast. It's really set up for podcasters, is what he originally set it up for. And I've been using these for the entire time. I've done this thing called 5 questions at the end. I'm trying to grab them over here. They're next to me. This thing called 5 questions at the end of the all of my live interviews here lately. And I just ask people questions. I open the card up and say, all right, if there was a sandwich named after you, what would be on it? Or what's your recurring nightmare? And have people answer those questions. And that's going to turn into a podcast here very shortly. Once I've got enough episodes where I know I'm good for 6 months, I'm going to launch it. But yeah, he gave me all these other ones. This one's like a would you rather card. So it's a lot of random would you rather questions. Like, would you rather your voice sound like Elmo or Kermit the Frog? I asked that one on Instagram the other day. Would you rather get a shoulder massage or a foot massage? Kind of a fun thing. And then what the heck is just very, very random questions. And then he's got another one called Episode Deck. And it's pretty interesting. This is like literally like if you wanted to be like you do your own podcast and you're trying to figure out what to talk about each week. Like, okay, you're just doing like a lifestyle podcast, let's say. And I'm typing the link in here. So give me a second here. You can go to poddexlab.com. And if you use the coupon code LAB, Justin, you can get 10% off on the physical products. Not off their did. They actually just launched a, what's the word I'm looking for? They just launched an app for iOS about a week or so ago, I think, that they launched the iOS app, and Android is coming here soon. But it's a monthly subscription to it. But all your cards that you buy actually can pull in over there, and they're adding a lot more stuff to it as well. But what I was going to say is, like, let's say you want to start a podcast and you're like, what the heck do I talk about? And maybe just you. It's just Scott Ayers, live, or, Scott Ayers Raw, or Brad Friedman, in the Raw. But you're trying to come up with stuff to talk about that's not necessarily business related. He's got this episode deck that literally is just ideas. And it's 52 of them. So it's one per week. So you can go, all right, Back to the Future, make some predictions. And that's a whole podcast. Just talk about it. Ask Me Anything episode. So maybe you put questions out there. Start with the result and work backward to the problem. Throwback Thursday, share your most embarrassing moments. So he's got these cool little things. So a lot of cool ideas. Travis is doing some fun stuff over there. Justin says he's been looking at the app. That's really cool. I haven't, obviously I'm not an Apple guy, even though I do have a MacBook now. I don't have an, iPhone, so I haven't looked at it yet, but it is really, really neat. Brad said he has the episode deck. Yeah, the episode deck is really cool. I'm really loving the idea, and it's so simple. Like one of the most simple ideas ever. Just asking people random questions. So I'm curious, and this is live, and so why not? Either you, Justin, or Brad want to hop on live and let me ask you some questions. Let me know, and I'll put the link to the guest link here in the comments and let you hop on, and hopefully your hair's brushed. And you can hop on. I'll ask you 5 questions. You can be part of the future 5 questions. That Brad, I've already done this to once when I interviewed him, but I certainly would do it again. So the whole thing with Facebook Premiere, Facebook Premiere is okay. I wouldn't use it all the time, but I would use it every once in a while. And like I said earlier, our data shows we got 3 times as many comments. We had a little bit higher reach. But we got a lot more engagement, which is really what I was particularly aiming for. Funny, Brad says, funny. I just looked at my hair. I jump on with it. All right, Brad, we're gonna do this. So here's what I'm gonna do, Brad. And this is live. You got to have fun in live, right? So I'm gonna put the comment, and now everybody can hop on, and I don't care. No one will see you unless I let you on. Maybe I'll have to delete this afterwards, but there's the live. Let's see who hops into the Restream studio here and ask a question. So Justin, if you want to hop in, you can hop in. Anybody wants to hop in, I'll bring you on camera, and I'll ask you if Brad hops on, I'll ask him 5 would you rather, since I already asked him the 5 random questions. I'll ask him the would you rather. So this will be kind of interesting and fun. I think part of live is like, especially when you're by yourself, it's a little bit harder. I've noticed when I'm by myself on camera, I got to have a really good ROS, which I did not have an ROS this week because I was not planning on doing this show until literally 5 minutes before the hour. I wasn't planning on being by myself. And so you've got to have a really good ROS, or you got to have a lot of, interaction, a lot of stuff to talk about. Live shows are easier with somebody else on camera. Because it lets you, engage with them and talk to them and kind of banter back and forth. You can take yourself off camera. If I want to reach over and take a drink of my sweet tea, I can do that when I have, someone on camera with me, where I can't really do that on live. And I see my man, Brad. Hang on, Brad. Let me turn that off. Brad Friedman. What's up, my man?
Hey, what's up with you?
I always wondered, like, what would happen if I put that link into a live show? Would, like, a bunch of people hop on it, or would I regret it?
You could.
Yeah, but the good thing is like I don't have to put you on here. I could kick, you don't have to show up on here. It pops into the back room, and then I can decide if I want you to come on. Now, what I haven't figured out with Restream is, like, how do I kick somebody out? Like, once we're done, like, there's nobody to kick you out, which is.
Oh, interesting.
I was on someone's Restream, and they kicked me out when we were done, but I couldn't figure out how to kick other people out. But
I have a little button at the top that says leave.
Yeah, you have it, but I don't. All I can do is just turn your camera off. That's all I can do. But so this will be fun. So Justin's like, haha, this is awesome. So, all right, so here we go, Brad. You know the drill. So this is part 2 of 5 questions with Brad Friedman, and I'll let Brad plug where we can find him after we're done. All right, Brad.
Sure thing.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you would you rather ones, because these are quick, easy. All right, so first question: would you rather have your head be too big for your body, or hands that are too small for your size?
I would rather have my head be too big for my body.
All right, that's an interesting question. All right, so 5 questions, part 2 with Brad Friedman. This is the second one. Would you rather be handcuffed to the most annoying person you know for 24 hours or go camping with someone who likes you, but you don't like back?
Oh, I would rather go camping.
Rather go camping. And Ed points out something. I think you might be on a different microphone. I'm not hearing you through your Heil.
Oh,
Good ear, Ed. Ed notices the audio. I've got my speakers turned way down, so I didn't notice it necessarily, but we'll let you
interesting.
switch.
Yeah, you know what? It's not giving me an option.
Maybe it's
Hold
tied
on.
up somewhere else.
Oh,
That's
wait.
what happens to me. My mic gets tied up in Skype or something.
Is that better?
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Okay.
now we have the throaty voice of Brad
Oh.
Friedman. All right, so we're doing 5 questions, part 2 with Brad Friedman. This is number 3. Would you rather blow up 100 balloons, or lick 500 envelopes?
Oh, blow up the balloons. I'm not licking envelopes in this COVID
Yeah,
world.
but sometimes, man, I was blowing up balloons for my daughter's 13th birthday party recently, and there's that weird powder that's on it, and it's kind of
yeah.
and
Well,
then you blow up too much, and your glands pop. So that's I don't know which one. Oh God, no, I'm not asking that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, some of these I'm like, oh, Travis, what did you ask? All right. Question number 3, 5 questions, part 2 with Brad Friedman. Would you rather have long nose hair or long ear hair?
Long ear hair.
Yeah, we're both at the age where we have both. So, all right, this will be an easy one. 5 questions with Brad Friedman. Would you rather have deep dish or thin crust pizza?
Oh, thin crust.
Yeah, I like thin crust too because it's crispy and
Yeah.
a little easier to eat. Now, if you're from, I had a friend who was from Chicago who lived down here, Chicago, and he would always take us to this place with Chicago style deep dish, which is basically like lasagna with dough. Is really what Chicago deep dish pizza.
Yep.
Is.
Thin crust. That's what I'm going to have as soon as we get off air here. That's having leftover from last night. That's my lunch.
Nice. So, Brad, you hopped on here. You get a free plug. So tell us about you, what you're doing, and what you're up to, and where we can find you.
Sure thing. I have a digital marketing agency. You can find my website at friedmansocialmedia.com. And tomorrow I'm hoping to drop a new podcast at the Digital Slice podcast.com. Pretty sure that's what it is.
Whose podcast is that?
Vivek Nair.
I've heard the name. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was my guest, and it's really fun. Vivek is in India and he does digital marketing. And so it was interesting to talk to him about maybe some of the differences between what he does there and some different apps that he uses. And yeah, it was fun. He's a great guy. He and I connected on Instagram.
Well, since I got you on here and you mentioned you had done a Facebook premiere, why did you do a Facebook premiere when you did one?
I think I did it because of you.
Okay.
And when you did this test. And so I thought, I'll try it. And I mean, it was pretty much crickets would be my description.
Yeah, you don't tend to get the engagement, and that's what I saw. Everyone I've done on other pages too, and it was kind of, unless you're maybe like I don't know. I think of like a chamber of commerce or a big brand where they're, like I said, doing like a documentary or an interview series that they're a big huge event coming up. Maybe you do a premiere with that, but overall, I don't know. You don't get the engagement, which is key. I think getting these comments is so crucial.
Yeah.
Or now, like I say, if it comes to a pinch, it's worth doing. But overall, yeah, I don't know. I'll do one again. I might do one again if we have something. Like I even thought about for Agora Pulse. I'm like, okay, we launch these new features all the time. Maybe we'd launch, we're revealing this new version of Agora Pulse, and we have the video ready. It's a promo thing, and we put a lot of buzz behind it because you can schedule out, I think, more than a week.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. If you put a lot of buzz,
yeah,
I mean, maybe that would make a difference.
but you're not probably still not going to get the engagement. I mean, I think you'll get views like you might, it may be even the same as a
Right.
live, but you're not going to get the engagement because you can't interact with people. There's
And
no way.
you know, I've
do
seen
it.
some people get engagement by kind of disguising the fact that it's a premiere,
Yeah.
making people think that they are live, and you know, they're very active in the chat, and
Right. I did that a little bit on mine. I kind of, acted. I started it just like I would my normal live show, but you could tell if you were watching. Like I remember the first one. I didn't mention it was a premiere at all, even though it came up and scheduled as a premiere, so you
yeah,
could see it. But I was bringing in all kinds of graphics and like sound effects, which you can do if you're using something like say Ecamm or vMix and you're very technical savvy. I was using Camtasia to make the video and add it all later. And they're like, man, what are you using? And then they finally started realizing that I had jump cuts. I'm editing the video. And someone commented, oh, wait a minute. This isn't live, is it? I'm like, well, we're watching it together live, but no, it's not live.
yeah,
So people are going to notice if you're an edited video. Now, I guess if you were to get on here like this, like let's say you and I just had a conversation, not live, and talked and then didn't edit it and put it on, no one would know except that the comments wouldn't be coming on screen. So
right,
I think there is pluses and minuses. Sometimes the technology is a big plus for it because you don't have to worry about lagging. Like I'm seeing right now, for whatever reason, my internet's not as good as it could be. Restream showing me it's a little bit low, even though I'm on really fast speeds here. So I mean, you have to worry about that. Is your internet going out? You don't have to worry about that
right.
if you upload it. But I still think you're not going to get the engagement.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Overall,
I totally agree. And speaking of new features with Agora Pulse, I am loving the power reports.
Well, appreciate that. Yeah, our team has worked so hard on that. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
been I don't know.
the
Maybe
reporting is so important to me because it's so important to my clients.
yeah,
And now being able to go in and customize what I want and getting then this really nice PDF that's branded with my client's brand and my brand and all the data, it's sweet.
that's cool. I mean, how long have you used it? Quite a bit, then I'm guessing.
So I used it through the month of September when I saw the offer that it was available during the month of September. And yeah, I'm loving it. They look good. The data's awesome. My client likes it. It's yeah. So
Very cool. Well, that was I didn't ask Brad to say any of that. I didn't know you were going to say any of that, but I will make sure my product manager and everybody else sees that because they'll be very happy that
yeah,
that you did that. But yeah, I don't obviously I don't have clients, so I haven't used it personally, but I've seen what they've done behind the scenes and played with it. And I'm like, this is sexy. I mean, it looks good.
yeah,
And it's real simple to use. And it makes you, if you're an agency or you've got any couple of clients, or even if you're just a social manager for your company, I mean, it makes you look really, really smart, really quick and easy. And
yeah. I mean,
taking
it
that
does.
out
It's
of-
very professional output, and
right.
I don't have to have some designer do it or anything. It's just clicking a button and it downloads and boom.
Well, very cool. Well, Brad, I appreciate you hopping in over here. I would kick you out, but see, I don't have the button to kick you out.
Okay,
It's
I'm
so
leaving. I'll click
weird.
that leave button.
I appreciate you, Brad.
Hey, take care.
All right, we'll see you.
Yeah.
And there's the fun side of live video sometimes. Like you just play around with it, and then all of a sudden you get a great little interview with a good friend, and he gives a plug for Agora Pulse in the middle of it. So, Brad, I certainly appreciate that, and we will try to pull out some of that audio and that video perhaps and use it other places. But I appreciate you being on the show and watching the show, even though it was a little different than normal. But hopefully you learned something from it if you watched the replay or you watched it live. I certainly do appreciate it. Look forward to seeing all of you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See ya.